Today I'm going to be showing you how to throw a bowl. I've got about 3 pounds of clay here. I've already centered it, so I'm just going to start to open it. This week I'm going to be making lots of bowls, some nesting bowls for baking. I'm going to remake that large serving bowl. Unfortunately it cracked, so I'm just going to try and do that again. So right now I'm opening the clay, and instead of this like 90-degree angle here like you would have for a mug, I'm really focusing on like a rolling 45-degree angle. And I'm going to go back and check that throughout the whole process of throwing this bowl. I also like to leave a little bit of an extra on the bottom, so instead of like 1/4 of an inch for the base, I like to leave maybe a 1/2 inch, and that gives you room to play with a fun foot, or you know, just a little more room for experimentation when you're trimming. So I've got that nice slope set in there. I'm going to bring it out just a hair more. And you kind of just want to think about, when you're throwing a bowl, is throwing the inside of the bowl rather than the outside. So all my attention is going to be focused on the inside contour and that, you know, having that shape and that nice slope last throughout the whole process. So I'm going to begin to start to pull up the walls. I start with my left hand in the middle here, and I want to pull all the way from the middle up to the side. On the outside, my right hand is touching the bat. So equal pressure. Gonna come and lift those walls. Compress the lip. So I'm going to work pretty slowly on this bowl because I want you to see how important the inside contour is. So I like to use this red rib. It's pretty soft, to kind of go back in there and address those inside walls. Alright, we're ready for another pull. So I've got a lot of clay down here that I'm going to bring up, but once again I'm going to focus on throwing the inside of the bowl versus the outside. Start in the center, don't start right here. So once again, equal pressure on the inside and outside. Going to push that clay from the bottom up while maintaining that nice slope on the inside. And don't worry too much about bringing your bowl outwards at this point. You'll do that at the very end with shaping. If you do it too soon, centripetal force will take your bowl down. So just bring the walls up like you would a mug or a cylinder. The only difference is that really nice angle on the inside there. Some tricks to maintain that nice contour, or to match the inside and the outside contour, is actually throwing with 2 ribs. You might want to slow the wheel down a hair. If you're not comfortable with 2 ribs, you can use a rib and a sponge maybe to start out. I would recommend the rib on the inside. I'm going to wet the sponge a little, and any irregularities I see in here, I'm going to use a little extra force on those areas. So if I have a little, you know, bump right here, I'm going to push a little harder on that so that it'll all even out. But I want that same kind of matching pressure with the sponge so that clay will move evenly upward. And gracefully come off. If you abrasively, you know, leave on your last section of the bowl when you're pulling up, that'll be reflected in your bowl. So you can see that nice contour on the inside here. It's it looks pretty good so far. So I've got nice thick walls, so I can do a lot of shaping during trimming too. So just some other things to think about right now would be addressing the lip. If you want throwing rings, if you want the body to come out and be more voluminous, which I think I'm pretty happy with, but I'm going to bring it out just a hair, and I'll show you how to use 2 ribs. Just experiment with using the softer or the firmer on the inside. I kind of like at the end to use the firm one on the inside. So once again, I'm meeting the ribs on the inside and the outside. And I'm just gonna, with about equal pressure that I've been working with, bring those ribs up together. That also gets all the slurry off the sides of your walls, which helps with structure and, you know, a pot with integrity, and all those little pieces of slurry can be vulnerable spots for your pot to break, especially on the lip. So remove that slurry from the lip too. I just usually take, cut off some soft plastic. Dry cleaning plastic is wonderful. It's really soft, and I get it a little wet and just kind of come up on the rim with it, and it just gives it a nice rounded look. You can also use like a chamois, or I'm sure they have a bunch of stuff at the clay store. So the last thing I like to do is step away from it and check it out from afar. It looks pretty nice. You want to be sure to keep that thick clay right there, because you'll get rid of all that when you're trimming, but that's supporting the whole bowl right now. So be sure you have that thick clay down at the bottom there. So I'm just going to go ahead and do one more little shaping. Starting on the inside, I'm using my soft rib on the inside this time. And then I'm going to go back and just compress that bottom with the soft rib by just going back and forth. This will prevent any S cracks or any cracks. All cracks are no fun. And so then, there it is. Last thing I'll do is just kind of address the lip once more, see if it's what I want. I'm just going for a real simple bowl here. Taking that plastic one more time, and you can really like push down at this part and compress that lip. All right, and the last thing I do is take my rib to clean up the back. I even do the side now. Saves me cleaning time later. And run a wire under it. So this is your bowl. Make sure to flip it when it's leather hard, or like a soft leather hard, so the bottom can get some air time before you trim it. But I'll show you how to trim the bowl next in a few days. So thank you.